Good morning. This is Mike Crow, and this is Driving Inspector Success. Driving Inspector Success number 53. It's hard to believe that I've done 50 of these, and I haven't done one for a little while because I've been busy. We had our incredible show, Mission 26, here in Dallas. We had over 100 people there. I know because we ordered 100 lunches every day and we ran out every day. So we'll work on that more in the future. You know, I was amazed at the number of people that were there and what we did and what we accomplished, and the number of people that are ready really to take their business to a whole new level. And it's kind of exciting to see that that's the case. And this particular mission event, as I call them now, had some old friends show up, and it was so good to see so many companies that had been successful kind of come back in and say hi, and by the way, said thank you. I meant a lot to me, by the way. I just want you to know, said thank you, and we had a great time. We had some incredible speakers. We had over 30 plus speakers there sharing different things. We had a Better Your Best contest, and so shout out to Scott Watson and Macy Orff. They were actually joint winners of the Better Your Best contest this year. That's only happened once before in the history of me doing shows. This will be about our 20th year to do show. We had one other time where we had joint winners of the Better Your Best, which means I'll be paying out two people. Somebody goes, does that mean you split the price? No, what that means is we paid two people, okay? And so they won, and you'll be hearing more about them and doing some other great stuff. And by the way, a shout out to Preston and Rashida. You guys were not only the winners of the AHA contest, but you were also second place in the Better Your Best contest. You guys just did it. And by the way, it was kind of funny because Preston and Rashida did a great job. The audience votes on who, they're like the ninth judge. The audience votes on who they think the Better Your Best contest winners will be. And Scott and Macy did incredible packages, which we'll be handing out to all of our mastermind members within the next year, if not sooner. But Preston and Rashida came on stage and did a great presentation. They actually won the audience vote because I was kind of counting on the audience vote to go, Scott or Macy, and then Preston and Rashida just walked away with what I told him, said, you won the popular vote. Okay. So there was that and everything. I want to talk to you about something that's important today. Sense of urgency. This is one of those things that somewhere when I was young got instilled into me. It was probably my dad's fault. You know, I blame so much on my dad. I blame him for a lot of the success that I have. In fact, I told people from stage, I said, there's two people in my life that have just totally influenced me over the years, and my dad was one of those, and Susan, my amazing wife, was the other one. You know, when we got together, I had kind of a low self-esteem. I was driven, but I had kind of a low self-esteem. Susan told me I was Superman, and then she convinced me that I was. And so, you know, between Susan and my dad, I have built a very high level of confidence in what I do. And so it's an interesting thing. So one of the things that I developed over the years was what I call a sense of urgency. And if you don't have a sense of urgency in what you're doing, then you probably are not going to get things done. See, I tell people beware the 95%, because the 95% have all of these projects that they haven't got done. And by the way, do I have projects that I haven't got done yet? Yeah, of course I do. Okay, we all do. But the question is, how many do you have? And how important are the ones that you don't have done yet? And part of it is that they convince themselves they don't have time. And time is one of those weird constructs that as humans we have created. And it's almost like we've created an excuse of why we can't get something done. And here's also one of the biggest lies that everybody will tell you. We all have the same amount of time. Well, maybe you do in the beginning, but it's like saying we all have the same amount of money. We all know that's not true, right? Some people have a lot more money than other people. And some people have a lot less money. So wouldn't it make sense that some people have a lot more time and some people have a lot less time? I jokingly say, when you say it like that, it makes a lot more sense, and part of what I want you to think about is I was reading something from the Kevin Harris. What an amazing guy. He's one of the coaches that's part of our faculty here at my inspector community. And, one of the things that he sent out recently was, hey, March is here. Wow. Okay. When I did my presentation, I was going, January's gone, February's almost gone, and now March is here. By the way, when you hear this, maybe March is gone too. Maybe April's gone. Maybe May's gone. Maybe 2026 is gone. Okay. By the time you hear this. And what I want you to understand is that you've got to have a sense of urgency of wanting to get something done. And when you have a sense of urgency of getting something done, everything else changes. It's almost like time bends for you. Time, you find extra time in the day to finish something. You find extra time on the weekend to get a project done. When you construct things the way I do, I find that I have a lot more time than the average person. Now, because now I'm at where I'm at, I'm in my 60s, and I have a multi-million-dollar business, and I only work, about 4 hours a month, and I get paid pretty well. Okay, so I really have all the time that I want. And part of the reason, by the way, is because I'm healthy. What they say is when a man is healthy, he worries about a lot of things. When he's not healthy, he worries about one thing. And so I have worked very hard my entire life, by the way, to be healthy. I actually, one of the things I actually tell people is that, my high five is family, faith, financial, fitness, and then fun. And fitness is one of those things that I've really worked on in the last 5 years or so, really 20 years, maybe my entire life, because I've tried to keep my weight in check. I've tried to eat right. And recently, within the last year, not quite a year now, I've hired myself my fourth, I think, physical trainer over the years that I meet with twice a week to help me get my exercises done and everything. The other day, my alarm went off at 3:30, and I go exercise with him at 4 o'clock. By the way, over WhatsApp, okay? We do it over the internet, and he actually lives in Florida. And he helps me work through and encourage me. And that alarm went off at 3:30, and I went, oh, darn, I got to go work out. Okay. And I just want you to realize I'm no different than anybody else. If I didn't have something that was holding me to that level of a sense of urgency, I probably wouldn't have gone and done it. Yeah, I'm paying this guy a lot of money, and I want to make sure that I show up. And so it's very interesting. By the way, when you watch this, one of the things that some people will tell you is, oh man, the clock gets set back this weekend, right? The clock gets set back this weekend. Does it really? Not. I mean, yes, technically. But again, time is just a construct. Don't let it worry you. Don't let it bother you. And here's one of the things that I talked about in my keynote presentation at Mission 26 this year, is that you got to beware of the 95%. See, if I go look at the calendars for the 95%, and especially entrepreneurial calendars. What I find on there is their time that they have appointments to go do work, right? If I were to go look at a real estate agent's calendar, she would have on there listing time, and she would have on there, she might, if she's really good, have on there her marketing time, right? But one of the things that you find is that nobody puts in, the average people, the 95%, don't put in time with their family, time with their fitness, time with their their wife, their date night and everything. And so you've got to put all of these things together. So yeah, maybe the clock goes back an hour. I don't care. It won't matter to me at all. I'll probably sleep an hour later, okay? But the bottom line is we get up, and when you have the time, you do whatever you want. I'm on my way to go see my dad right now. 23 months ago now, he had a stroke, and physically he's recovered greatly, and emotionally he's still challenged. And so I go see him probably 3, 4, 5, sometimes more days a week, and try to help encourage him, understand that life is still can be fun, and so we have a lot of things here. So I was watching something this morning, and I love picking up on certain things. And one of the things I heard this morning was Elon Musk said something that was very interesting. He said, most people think about what is it that they want to accomplish in 10 years. And I see that all the time. And then he said, now start thinking, what would it take to accomplish that in 6 months? And it just boom, it just changes your whole mindset. What would it take to get that done in 6 months? Because here's what I want you to see. And I heard Simon Sinek say this morning as well. And that is that, there's two types of people. Those that see what they want and start figuring out how to get it. And those people that see what stops them from getting what they want. And I will tell you, a huge part of that is who you hang around, who you associate with. I love to say be successful and be around those that are successful, because the more money we make, the more people we can help. And there's a lot of becauses that you could attach to that sentence, because it gives you the ability to live the kind of life you really want to live. Because it helps you be proud of who you are. And so I just want you to understand that there's a lot of things. And I'm going to tell you again, it all starts with a sense of urgency. And people are mind-boggled by how I go, I want to do something. And then the next thing they see is me on the phone talking to somebody, trying to figure out, hey, would you be willing to help me get this done? All right. So for instance, we had Jamie and Donna Miller come and talk at our Mission 26. And, I've been wondering how things were going with them and how they were doing and everything. Just two amazing, dear people to my heart. And they had been part of my coaching program for, probably 10 plus years. And I was going, wouldn't it be great if I could give out their Better Your Best contest package when they won back in 2016. And by the way, their package is like evergreen. It's still, everything in that package still works today. And so I picked up the phone and went, hey, Jamie, how are you doing? And he went, hey, Mike, I haven't heard from you in ages. We're doing great. I said, can I ask you a couple of questions? He went, yeah, sure. I said, are you still married? He went, yeah. I said, are you still in the inspection business? He said, yeah. I said, well, how much did you do last year? And he went, 1.7 million. And I went, yes. Okay, yes. And I said, Jamie, I am putting on my next event, and I'm kind of rebooting now that I've taken care of Susan and taken care of a lot of other things, and we've gotten our business back up and running. And by the way, we did 3 million last year. Thank goodness. Jonathan and Krista are just nailing that thing to the wall. I'm telling you, Ben, they are just getting it done. Okay. I said, what would it take to get you and Donna to come in and just share with people and talk with them and encourage them and let them know that you used to work in a factory building, RVs. And he did. He used to have a job. When he first started with me, he used to have a job. And he would literally help put down the flooring for the RVs as they went through the line to be produced and everything. So, and after he joined me, his business picked up and he quit his job. And then his wife was able to quit her job and she helped him. And their business grew and grew and grew into the next level. Now, was it easy? No. If anybody ever hears me tell you this is easy, just know that it wasn't me. It must be an alien that's overtaken my body, right? And there are people out there that want to tell you that it's easy. It's not. But it's worth it. It's worth it. What I get to do today, what I get to do on a daily basis, I don't worry about money. And the 95% worry about money all of the time. So what are you doing right now? What's your sense of urgency today? What is it you want to accomplish in the next 10 years? And why aren't you working on accomplishing that or putting plans into place, accomplishing that in the next 6 months? Elon amazes me. And by the way, I could take any person in the world and I'd go, I hate this about them, I like this about them. I don't really hate anybody, but the bottom line is that I am very unfavorable about some things people do, and I'm very favorable about some things that people do. But when I see any person, and I don't care whether they're a Democrat or a Republican, or whether they're rich or whether they're poor, or whether they're a foreign person or a local person, I look at them and I go, what's one thing I like about them? And I would go, how do I take that and build that into me? And so when I see Elon, I just go, man, what a truly amazing person. He is our Einstein of the 21st century, right? He is our Henry Ford of the 21st century. And it's just, and honestly, he's all of that and more all rolled into one. And so I study him, on a regular basis, and I love how he sees 20 years out, because I see 20 plus years out. I just want you guys to know, life is challenging. It's not always easy. Building a business is not always easy, but it's worth it. And it's worth doing what you need to do to get things up, get it moving. I think sometimes people miss the fact that I worked for 13 years in the grocery business, building everything I had. And honestly, the only reason I quit was because I realized that company and the industry itself was getting ready to go through such a big change, and nobody really saw it coming. I saw it coming, and I saw some of those changes, and I realized I had to figure out something else to do. And it was at that point I realized I had to put myself in a position where I had more control over that. And there have been good days and bad days with that decision. But today's going to be one of those good days because I get to go see my dad. We'll probably have some lunch. And who knows, maybe even play dominoes. He's a domino master. And I want to encourage you. Here's one of my biggest secrets that I learned. Be around those that are successful. Be successful. And then be around those that are successful. And then here's the second part of that to some degree. Be the kind of person that other people want to be around. Be the kind of person that other people want to be around. So not only when you're successful, one of the things I think that people miss sometimes is that successful people, they think, oh, they got what they want, they're all good, and they go and run off. And by the way, some people go run off to even foreign countries and live their lives, and they just take care of themselves. Well, truly successful people, and I have seen this with countless successful people, when somebody goes, hey, can you help me? What can I do to help be successful as well? They'll literally stop in their tracks and explain to them the steps they need to take, how they need to invest, what they need to do, what needs to be on their calendar to be able to get all of those into place. So guys, this is Mike Crow. This is Driving Inspector Success number 53. Be successful and be around those that are successful. And I just want to tell you guys, I love you. God bless. Thank you for helping me have an incredible show. If you'd like to learn out more about us, then I think we still have an offer out there that we were doing before the show, and I will honor that offer. I think it's at coachblueprint.com/bonus. And instead of you being able to come to the show, I'll set it up so you can come visit one of our mastermind meetings and sit around the table, because we have a number of $1 million companies, including Jamie and Donna and others, that will be sitting around the table in April, and again in July, and again in either late October, early November. And so go out there, join us. Get the big bang marketing that all of them use to get started, and then let's figure out how we get you to that next level as well, and help get you at the table where you can sit around successful people as well. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.